to Hotboxing, presented by Car Crush with hosts M-Dog Nightmare and Boner's Battlefield. Stay tuned and don't go nowhere, you dingus.
Hi, welcome to Hotboxing. I'm M-Dog Nightmare.
And I'm Lauren, Spiders from Mars. I'm sitting in for Mandy this week. She had a family emergency a couple weeks ago. I'm going to step in for Mandy. I am wearing my most gorgeous pair of boots because I know she would be. She has quite the boot collection.
Fucking boots.
Trying to channel my inner Mandy.
Mm-hmm. And we miss her. Send her some love. So in this episode 2 of our quarantine Zoom edition of Hotboxing, we're hanging out with drifter Alexis Ormond. Did we say your last name correctly?
Well, now it's Ormond because I'm married.
Oh my God! Okay. Just kidding. It's
I
Alexis.
have to come up with a good Instagram handle that is as good as Initial Debilus. So yeah. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out a better one.
Yeah, well, and it's kind of on like a sort of on a branding scale too, of like an Instagram handle is a little bit different than your whole name. So we're sitting down with Alexis Ormond, drifter, and we don't really know anything about drifting. I think my best guess was going as fast as you can with the controlled slide.
I mean, Emily has never even seen Fast and Furious 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9,
I
10.
have not. I've never seen any of them. And I didn't have time before the interview because
I haven't either. I haven't seen a single Fast and the Furious.
I think they're really silly and there's a lot of hot cars and people in it.
Yeah.
That's it. I don't think that reflects drifting, but maybe it does. I guess we'll just have to find it. We'll have to have a movie
We'll have
night.
to watch it, apparently, at least one. After the interview.
So we are super excited to talk with you. We got connected with you a couple years ago through Woman and Machine. And we just want to start with what the fuck is drifting?
Well, it pretty much is just going as fast as you can sideways and trying to keep under control of the car. But it's just pretty much about having fun with your friends. It's no pressure. You're not trying to compete against a time or anything like that. It's just getting out there and having fun and making a lot of smoke and getting sideways.
Ruining every tire that you can possibly ruin.
Absolutely. And every body
What's your tire budget?
So I mean, it really depends. My rear tires that I get as burners, we go tire hopping. We'll find places that will have trailers with their used tires that people bring, and we'll go and take those tires.
That's awesome.
As far as front tires, I get pretty good sticky ones like autocross tires.
Yeah, because you need all that control for your steering and because it's from everything's. Wait, is it your cars are rear wheel?
Right.
Right. Okay.
They're real drive, but you're still you still need that front grip. So it's really important to have good sticky front tires because you want to be able to be looking where you want to go and just have the car move there effortlessly and not have to fight it.
So there's no times that you're fighting, but people you race at, or is it? I mean, it is racing, right? Kind of besides it's fun. I mean, fun can be competitive a little bit, I guess. I don't know. I don't know anything about the culture or anything.
They do have competition drifting. At our level, basically what the grassroots events are is they'll have 3 classes. They'll have C class for beginners. They'll have B class for intermediate. And then A class, they'll have 2 people, 3 people, 4 people going at a time. When you get into competition drifting, it's pretty much judged based on what your line is and how close you get to the other person.
Okay.
So
you do compete, but it's mostly just to get out there and get sideways.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, most of the grassroots events, it's just you're just going out there and trying to look cool and have fun.
And burn some rubber. I was curious. So it seems like for you, drifting is more of is like a lifestyle. And I wanted to know, like, how do you support your hobby or transition it into not a hobby, like your actual whole life?
Yeah, so I mean, I started a drift kitchen in 2018 with my partner Taylor, and we pretty much were just like, we wanted to start out having one all women drift day, and it was just really popular and the girls really liked it and they wanted a second day, and then they were like, oh, you should be doing these all the time. So that kind of turned into a full-time thing where we were like, oh, we can actually, like support our habit this way, and we can find sponsors and things like that, through this business.
Mhm. Before that, when you were just getting into it, how did you manage to like make it to the events and pay? I mean, because I'm assuming it costs money. Track time costs money.
Yeah.
Like all that stuff.
So a lot of people, they'll trailer their cars to the events. I daily drove my drift car for 7 years and
Wow.
just drove my car to and from the events, which really isn't that much in gas money. So I'll drive from New Hampshire to, say, New Jersey, for example, and that'll be 2 tanks of gas and then just food and stuff for the weekend, and then the event entry, which compared to like other types of racing, drifting really isn't that bad as far as like entry fee. It's like $150 for a weekend.
Yeah, that's not too bad. What's it like to daily drive a drifting car?
It's pretty terrible.
Yeah, those are the words I was looking for. Paint a picture with your words, though.
Okay, so picture this. The car's completely gutted. There's no radio, so you're pretty much just listening to the hum of your diff the entire time you're on the highway. No cup holders, so I'm trying to have my Dunkin's iced coffee and just manage to spill it on everything. I am still cleaning up spilled coffee in the interior of my car. It's so bad.
But don't you have an all white interior?
I do. Yeah. I'm
That's cool.
in the middle of like getting that completely washed, and then I'm gonna repaint the interior and the cage right now while there's like a bunch of time.
Are you keeping it white?
No, I haven't chose a color yet.
Okay.
Taylor and I were doing a bunch of body work to her 240, and we're doing all the body work to my car, and we just don't know what color we're gonna do yet.
Okay. Yeah, because we do have questions about that later. We have
Right.
a little that tucked in. Yeah, I mean, I feel like I kind of love it that you use that as your daily driver. You're very uncomfortable because also you probably don't have stocks. Do you have stock suspension on it, or?
I have BC coilovers in it, and I have the only other suspension mod that I have is a Powered by Max angle kit. It's fine. It's just you have a lot more steering angle, and the steering feels a little bit different now. But as far as whether it's daily drivable, it's debatable.
I mean, you made it daily. Like that's the thing, but that's like the thing about making your dreams happen is you just do what it takes. But I like because is it a rough ride?
Oh, for sure. It's a long ride. I think this is going to be my first year. 2020, I swore I was going to start trailering it to the events this year.
Do you have another?
My husband and I just got a Toyota Tundra.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, we got the tow rig. So I've been driving that. But pretty much up until this past winter, I've been driving the FRS around.
Yeah, that's cool.
No one will inspect it for whatever reason. I don't know why.
What do you mean, like inspect it, like?
Because of the cage, which never was a problem before. I mean, I had no issues up until this past year, but now it's just like it's so gutted and.
Yeah, what are they inspecting?
They pretty much look at everything. So, okay. Let's say, for example, I don't have any airbags or anything in my car, and that all came stock with the car. That's stuff that they do look at when they inspect these vehicles. So
it's like they don't know what to do with it. They're like, it's too
weird.
Weird.
It's almost like I have all these aftermarket safety things like the harness and the bucket seat, but it's almost like it doesn't matter because the car just looks so different.
Yeah.
Plus, it doesn't really help that all my panels are kind of like held on with zip ties.
How did you get into drifting?
So I originally was into it because I had a 79 RX-7, and there were a bunch of people in my hometown that they were into drifting, and they saw my car, and I started hanging out with those guys, and I was like, oh, this is really cool. They would kind of go to parking lots or on the street and stuff, and I was just like, oh, that's pretty rad. I want to try it, and I liked it trying it the first time just in an empty parking lot.
And did you fall in with drifting or cars first?
I would say cars first. I got into cars. I was 18, 19 years old when I got into cars, and I fell in love with, unfortunately, a rotary engine vehicle.
Yeah.
Oh, that's adorable. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of how I got interested in mechanics, is just because the RX-7 was so unique that not a lot of people knew how to work on it. So I kind of had to do some of the stuff myself and learn about it myself. So it's kind of how I got into it.
Oh, because was that 79 RX-7 a rotary
Yes.
engine? Okay. I also don't know why my choice of words for that was like, that's adorable. Because it's like super badass.
It was.
I mean, we're both
loud. It was such a stinky car.
Yeah, I've like looked at pictures of rotary engines, and I read like a tiny little bit about them, but just in my mind, I don't know why, I was just like, oh, they're so cute. But anyway, yeah, they're do you want to explain what a rotary engine is for people that don't know, like us and everyone else?
So a rotary engine doesn't have pistons that are going up and down or side to side. Instead, it has a rotor that moves. It's basically like a triangle type shape that moves inside, and that's how it's powered. There's only 3 moving parts in a rotary engine.
Oh, that's cool.
Wow. So they're really simple.
They're really simple, and they can rev a lot higher RPMs, and you're actually supposed to like bring it to red line every time that you drive the car. It's actually good for them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That sounds fun.
So
you are like you've always been driving fast.
Definitely always been driving fast. Yeah.
Yeah. So was that a manual, that 79 do you drive manuals mostly?
Yep. Yeah, so that 79 was a manual. I learned how to drive a stick on a 4-speed Tercel.
Awesome.
Cool.
Yeah.
And I had a few of those as daily cars for a while, and then eventually went to the FRS, which is a 6-speed.
Sweet. Yeah,
Is that what you drive now?
Yeah.
Cool.
It sounds like you mostly just own manual cars. Do you what's your feelings about well, clearly you like manuals. What is it about it that you like?
I mean, I like daily driving a manual, and obviously drifting it. It's cool because you have a lot more control of like your RPMs and stuff like that. But I actually got to drive an automatic down in Florida at a drift event.
Mm-hmm.
And I borrowed somebody's car, and it was the coolest thing ever.
Yeah.
It was M45 Infinity.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
And I think I had more fun drifting that car than I did any one of my manuals.
Really?
Oh really?
Yeah. Tell us more about that. That's spicy. Why?
So it was cool because it didn't have the paddle shifters, but it was almost like you could still switch gears on.
It had like a sport
shifter.
Okay, like a sport shifting kind of thing on the okay.
Yeah, so I would just put it in second gear, and then it had a V8 engine in it, so you're just gassing it, so powering over into a turn, and then it was just like you're steering it, and you're just sitting back in the seat, and like I wouldn't even have to hold on to anything, the steering wheel, nothing, just like playing with the gas. It was so much fun, and the seats were cool.
That sounds fun.
So I was just sitting there like a gangster. It was awesome.
And just like drifting. That sounds pretty bad. Like I super love manuals because you're like in control. You can feel your feel your car, but that sounds really rad.
It does.
Because then you got to enjoy the drift.
Yeah,
that experience it.
And it sounds like you could also like make a sandwich or pour yourself some coffee.
That would actually be a great idea for a video.
Yeah, you don't have, oh man, I want to do, please do that. or what, like I the first time I drove an automatic, that's what I thought in my mind as I was like, there's so much I can do while I'm driving, which I know is probably frowned upon. But yeah, it was just like, man, because you don't have to be like constantly touching your shifter and like, you know.
So I have a really weird, like funny story about going to a drift event. It was nighttime. My friend and I were at a park and ride in Connecticut, and I was pulling out, and I was in the FRS, which is manual, and I had this little speaker, and it's because I didn't have a radio, and she had this little portable speaker, and somehow it got caught somewhere in my shifter, and I thought I lost second gear leaving this leaving this place. I call her up. I'm like, dude, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I think we're just gonna have to like make it there. I'm just gonna switch from first to third gear. I'm still gonna try to drift the event anyway. I'll just stay in third. And then finally I reached down and I'm like, wait a second, I didn't lose second gear at all. I had this little speaker inside where my shifter was.
It was just like, so it was like blocking this stick. What is that? Shift lever?
Yeah, it's pretty much blocking the stick shift.
That's awesome.
Well, I like that you're like, well, I'm just gonna drift in third gear. So do you drift in second gear, the gear to drift in?
Yeah, so usually like going into an entry, you're usually in third gear and then you shift down into second for the rest of the course, at least at Englishtown. It depends on the car though, because some of them are geared differently, so you might stay in third gear the whole time.
Tell us about your whip, like why this one, like
how did
yeah. Wait, what is it? Because we don't know we don't know anything about imports really. Well, we know mostly nothing about everything to do with, but
we don't know about like the kind of cars. We're not
like, I know about 89 Trans Ams. I know a lot about third gen Trans Ams. She knows a shit ton about Land Cruisers. But
and I know about the JDM stuff. So
yeah.
Right, yeah. I do have I've had a lot of daily driver Hondas, but yeah, because JDM, so what does JDM mean?
So it's basically like the Japanese manufactured cars.
Okay. What does it stand for? I always forget.
Japanese domestic market, I believe.
Okay.
Ooh, good job. You get a gold star for that. That was a tricky question.
All right, cool.
Does your car have a name?
It does not have a name. I just call it No Tofu because that's my license plate.
Oh yeah. Yeah, tell us about that license plate.
So that license plate has to do with, there's a Japanese anime called Initial D where the main character delivers tofu down the mountain, and that's how he becomes this great racer and drifter, is because he had to deliver tofu on these mountain roads. And the car in the series is a Toyota AE86, which is a rear-wheel drive Toyota from back in the 80s. And my car, the FRS, was actually designed with that 80s car in mind. So when Toyota and Subaru came together and made the FRS, they were basically thinking about the old AE86.
Wait, it's a collab between the two best car manufacturers of all time?
Yeah, so
I did not know that.
It's got the Subaru Boxer engine with Toyota direct injection, and
yes,
a lot of the design was done by Toyota.
So wait, is it a Toyota? Like, what year is it? And then is it a Toyota FRS?
So it's technically a Scion now. Scion is no longer, but Scion's owned by Toyota. But yeah, it's a Toyota Scion FRS. Still got the Subaru engine.
Okay.
That's like the every world.
Yeah. What year is it?
2013.
Okay. And how long have you had it for?
I've had it since 2013.
Sweet. How long have you guys been together for? So did you buy this car new?
Yeah, I bought it brand new. It had 12 miles.
Cool.
They actually didn't let me test drive a standard. They didn't have any standards to test drive, and I knew I wanted it in a standard. I actually originally bought it thinking it was going to be a show car. And my boyfriend at the time, ex-boyfriend now, he crashed it about a month after I bought the car. And there had to be a bunch of work done to it, and I just kind of felt like it was never going to be the same again. And that's kind of when I decided to start racing, and I tried doing autocross, and then I got into drifting pretty shortly after that.
Hmm. What did you think about autocross?
I liked it. I wasn't very good at it. I wasn't fast. I actually used to autocross with my husband, and he would beat me by like 1 second, and I would get so mad. I would be so mad because I was like, I know I'm a better driver than you. I know I'm a faster driver. Why
Right.
you beat me every time?
Yeah, because autocross is about you go through like an obstacle course.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
basically they'll have cones set up, and you have to, at that point, you're going against the clock.
Hmm.
Try to
Okay.
get your fastest time.
Is it a precursor to rally racing?
I would honestly, I would consider it a precursor to everything. I think that's like the easiest way to get into racing is autocross because it's the least amount of damage to your car. I mean, the worst you can do is hit a cone.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice.
And it's car control, and you can take anything. You could take any car, stock, modified, whatever, and do autocross with it.
That sounds fun. I keep meaning to try it, and then I don't mean that hard because I never have, but it sounds pretty fun. As far and
Wait,
also
what do you mean like any car, like any vehicle or like a sedan?
you could take your Land Cruiser, I think, right? You could
I'm pretty sure. I mean,
I might tip over, but
I would imagine you can take any sort of passenger car. I don't see why you couldn't take anything at like a local autocross event.
yeah, just
cool.
try it. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know if that would be like taking Betty drag racing almost, but
Maybe.
Yeah, it's just funny.
okay, so let's talk about why did you pick that car? It sounds like were you thinking, yeah, what was behind the choice to get that car?
So I saw a video and some sort of like commercial or something of Formula Drift, and a driver, Ryan Turk, he's actually from my home state, New Hampshire. He was drifting an FRS, and I was like, wow, that car is so pretty. I want it. It looks so cool.
Yeah.
So at the time, I was working for the judicial system. I was working an office job that I absolutely hated. And I was like super bummed about it. And I was like, I'm just going to work really hard and get this car. And I had pictures in my cubicle walls, pictures of FRSs like all over the walls of my
Okay.
cubicle.
Yep.
You manifest that shit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah. I actually wrote myself a check for the amount of the car a couple months before I got the car.
Oh, you got me goosebumps.
I wrote a check for it, and I still to this day have that check. In one of my boxes. It's like, wow, that actually happened.
And that's how it's done. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally believe in that. Like, I think that if you write something down and you like think about it every single day, then it absolutely happens.
Yeah. I think
Had you ever we're super into that. Have you ever bought a new car before, like a brand new car off the lot?
That was the first time. That was like the best feeling in the entire world.
Yeah.
Like,
So
okay.
did you actually save up the money? Did you save all the money to get it, or did you have to end up making payments on it?
I made payments on it.
Okay,
Yeah.
for the down payment. Yeah.
I started racing my car, and I started drifting the car, still making payments on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you had to.
Yeah.
Drift live.
Yeah.
It's an addiction.
But I feel like it's a healthy one. You know, I don't know. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's like what we were curious about, is like how, like, you clearly have a passion and you've committed to it, even if that means drifting a car that you're still making payments on, or working a job that you don't like, but you're like, sights set on
Keeping your eye
what
on
you have to do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Keeping that.
I'm not like super stoked to admit it, but like in between jobs and stuff, I was definitely like putting some of these events on like my credit cards and stuff like that, just so I could keep doing these events and still like get myself out there and stuff. Just kind of with that like idea, like, all right, eventually I'm going to be able to make this money back. And
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
Girl, we get it.
yeah, I think that is a totally legit. I love that. I don't think there's absolutely
Well, the opposite is waiting until you have until what? Like if it's what you need to do, you got to do it, and it will come back and fold back in. So we
yeah,
think that's super.
absolutely. And like I think right now with the motorsport of drifting, it's still in its beginning stages. It's still a baby right now, but it's
Mhm.
about the, you know, you're seeing tracks that are closing down their drag strips, that are reopening their tracks, or they're going just into drifting.
right.
So it just shows that the sport itself is growing. So
Right.
I just figure right now is a good time to continue to get myself out there and to keep doing these events, even if.
Well, you're also in a good position, or you put yourself in a good position, because if it like on the rise of drift, like if it becomes more popularized, you already have like a corner for women, which is super awesome. Can you tell us about Drift Kitchen?
Yeah, absolutely. So Drift Kitchen started in 2018. My business partner, Taylor Whitmore, and we started it. And we pretty much just did it because we were like, hey, there's maybe like one or two girls out there at a local event, maybe, if you're lucky to see
Mm-hmm.
one girl driving. And we would talk to people who were spectators, and we talk to girls and be like, oh, like, do you want to try it? And they'd be like, yeah, I want to try it, but I'm really scared to. I don't want to do it in front of spectators and stuff. So we're
Yeah.
like, we should just like do an event for women. And we were never expecting to do more than one event. Our first event, we had 17 drivers, which was more in in one.
That sounds like a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was more than like you would see at any of the events. And I don't know, it was just really cool. They asked for another event that year, so we put out a second event in November, and then it's just grown since then. We've had tracks contact us and say, they want us in Texas, they want us in Louisiana or California. So now we're just kind of expanding and doing it all over the US.
That's cool that was the response from not just from women, but from other people, like tracks and stuff too.
Yeah, it's awesome because you'll like go to a local event now, and it's cool to see a lot of the women that are out there. I mean, one of our New Hampshire events had 12 drivers at a regular like co-ed event, and that was unheard of before.
Yeah.
And they're
cool.
like all our drivers, so
Yeah.
that's really cool.
Yeah. No, that's really exciting. Just to kind of like level the playing field a little bit, and like show a population, women specifically, that haven't really been shown by the automotive industry, like just basically kind of been ignored,
And I think
publicly.
the cool thing about having women into drifting is that like because drifting isn't competitive, there's no like pressure, or there's not a lot of pressure that they have to be like the best. They can just be creative with their cars, make their cars look the way they want to, and then just focus on driving and having fun and getting to know how to work on cars and what happens when you brake when you're on the track and stuff like that.
Yeah. It sounds like it's
That
super.
sounds like the perfect spot to like grow and learn and explore. Because I mean, I'm familiar with racing at all of any kind, and I can't imagine walking onto where I'm just gonna try this for the first time. But to have a place to do that would be like, I'm like, I should try racing. Why not?
And what's cool now is that like in the local community, since we've had so many girls come to these events and they are now going to the local events, if you're new to the sport, if you don't know anything about motorsports, you can go there and you can talk to a dozen different women that are there to help you, that have already been there and experienced that.
Yeah, which is super cool. I love that.
Damn, you guys are making a community that's badass. And then it's like it's also like reaching out further just from your events.
Absolutely. We've got like group chats. We've got all sorts of like Facebook groups and stuff going on. Like, I don't know, everybody's friends outside of the car world as well.
Yeah.
Were you guys received in any negative ways or anything, or was you ever not taken seriously or anything like that?
Yeah, I would say for sure. We definitely had some like raised eyebrows. There were some people that just kind of thought like a women's drift day, like there's no one's gonna do that. You're not gonna be able to find that many people that are even interested in it. And I mean, we sold out our second year. We sold out in 24 hours on our first event of 2019. We
Rad.
had we had 20 drivers spots, and I think we ended up having 30 drivers at that event because we were turning people down.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
And like
Yeah.
I don't know,
That's
that
cool.
that was kind of cool. Just because I think we've always known that we were gonna be doing this. I just didn't think it was gonna be like traveling across the country and stuff doing it.
Yeah.
Right. But sometimes when your dreams start happening, they're always, well, I feel like often they're always much larger and more beautiful than you could have imagined, you know, like your imagination is part of what's like gets things going. And like you said, like writing things down and stuff, but also like when those things actually start to happen and manifest, they're just so much bigger, you know, which is fucking, I mean, I don't know.
I'm
It's the
I'm a
coolest.
big believer in the writing of stuff down. Like I can't
Yeah.
stress that enough. I have a giant, like I'm looking at it right now. I have a giant board that I just write down all my like to-do lists and just dreams for the future and stuff.
Yeah.
Your
Yeah.
your future reality.
Your what? What'd
Your
you say?
future reality.
Yeah, exactly. You're shaping your future reality. I mean, I think even not just on a woo-woo level, just on a level of like that is what your brain is concentrating on. So naturally you're making steps towards it, you know, the same as if you just have garbage around all the time, sometimes your brain, or like the negative stuff, like sometimes your brain, whatever you focus on gets bigger. So it's
Yeah.
not even really that like crazy of a concept, you know.
It's not, but it's really hard, like especially right now, because like right now I have so much free time. So it's like I gotta just try to stay as focused as possible on all the stuff that we're doing, like with Drift Kitchen.
Right. And it's a little bit of a scary time, I feel like, kind of, or uncertain, as
Um,
words that I've been hearing a lot in the news and commercials and everything else.
I did want to ask you what the process is. Like, what's your process with Drip Kitchen? I know you guys, it's like there's two of you working on it,
Mhm.
and then just planning events and stuff.
So yeah, we'll basically reach out to different tracks, or they'll reach out to us, usually during the off season, and then we'll make a schedule up. And we do the website. We'll promote the events on social media and stuff like that. And then we deal with the tracks directly and deal with all the insurance and all that. And then we pretty much just spend most of our days making merch and making stickers and stuff like that. That's a lot of the behind the scenes, is just making the merchandise and shipping it out to people.
Which is a lot of work, by the way. Like,
Yeah.
you're like, oh, we just do this. I'm like, that's a lot of work.
Yeah, you have to have like shipping set up and printing labels and like
All the stuff.
Yeah.
We're hand making these keychains right now. I don't have an
What?
example. But it takes a really long time because they're made out of epoxy. So it takes,
Emily loves epoxy, so we all know.
8 hours to cure. And, then we'll like do all the beads and everything else. It takes like days just to make these little keychains.
Yeah. Oh my God, I can't wait to see them.
I know. I'm like, well, we're gonna go shopping immediately after this.
Beads and epoxy. What?
What? For Drift Kitchen, I know we're kind of on pause right now, being quarantined and whatnot. But do you have future events that maybe are still happening just like later in the summer?
So we got the go ahead with Ohio, June 13th at Kilcare Raceway. We're going to have our Midwest event. They gave us the go ahead. We're allowed 20 drivers. I'm not entirely sure what the spectator rules are going to be, if we're going to be allowed
Right.
spectators or not. It's kind of just going with a day by day basis right now. But we're really excited about that. We're super thankful that we can even plan ahead to something in the future. We're going to be rescheduling our Texas event as well as our Pennsylvania event, probably for pretty shortly after that Ohio one.
Cool. Just
That's
kind
exciting.
of playing it by
Do you
ear.
guys? I'm also curious. Is drifting seasonal at all, or is this just like a full time sport?
It is for us because up here we get a lot of snow, and it's just like it's way too cold in New England to be doing this stuff year round. But
Yeah.
even in Florida and like in the South, they kind of slow down during the winter time just because there needs to be an off season so everyone can work on fixing their cars.
Right.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
It's a lot. It definitely puts a lot of stress on the cars. And not only that, when you're doing tandems, you tend to hit people. So the cars look pretty gnarly at the end of the year.
Right. What's tandem?
Tandem is when you have more than one person drifting at the same time, trying to go as close to the other person as possible.
Okay. So if we see people drifting around a track, they're not necessarily racing. They're kind of driving together and trying to get as close as possible, but without hitting each other.
Yeah.
That kind of reminds me of, sorry, but I'm thinking, do you either of you guys watch The Office?
Yes.
Like, there was one part where Michael and Holly, they were like, had too much PDA. And so they were like, oh, we can't touch. Oh, anyway, I'm sorry. That's like the first thing.
Well, actually, that's kind of funny because we actually call it, when you hit someone's door lightly, they call it a love tap.
Yeah.
A love tap, like a little kiss.
Yep. Hey, what's up? That actually, I wanted to transition back into, because there's some stuff that I forgot to ask you about your car. So you got it and it was new. So clearly it came with all the stuff. I mean, it came as a complete new car package, and then it got wrecked, and then you were like, okay, I'm going to race it. And so then what did you do to it?
At the time, nothing. I got the car fixed at Toyota, and a body shop fixed the body damage. I actually ended up working at that body shop like 5 years later, randomly, but
okay. Yeah. Full circle.
Yeah, really full circle. But it was still nice. It looked nice. And no, I did the autocross thing. I drifted it for about 2 years. Got into a Nissan 240 in 2015, just thinking like, okay, I don't want to ruin this car, so I'm gonna get something else. I don't know, didn't really like it, so went back to the FRS. And then when I started getting really serious about racing, I decided I should probably get a cage for the car.
Okay.
And that happened in 2017.
Okay. Did you, at that point, had you already ripped out the interior or no?
I ripped out the interior on January 1st, 2017.
Okay, cool. And then you put the cage in after that?
Yeah. I actually got it done in Pennsylvania through Neverlift Auto Fab. He did the cage work for me because at the time I wasn't welding.
Yeah. Is that why you started welding? To be able to do your own?
So I started welding. This is crazy, but I used to teach piano lessons on the side, and my piano student's dad said, "Hey, there's a welding class for $100. Would you be interested in taking it with me?" And it's for 6 weeks, and it's for 4 hours each week, and they teach you every type of welding, and it's $100.
Holy crap! That's amazing.
Yes.
And
that is absolutely reasonable. So reasonable. That's beyond reasonable.
They had all the equipment there. It's at a high school, a local high school, but they have adult education classes there. And the welding class was one of them. And they had all the hoods and everything, all the material, and you just take it for $100 and that's it.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, did you go to mechanic school and are you ASE certified?
I did go to the Toyota school. I am not ASC certified.
But you did go to school. Okay, cool. I was just wondering. Okay, back to your car. We still want to hear about your car.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So you we sometimes go around and around.
It's okay.
So you ripped out the interior in 2017, and you probably took the radio out too, or had you already taken the radio?
No, I took the radio out when I took the interior out. And then I drove the car down to Pennsylvania
Mhm.
with my husband behind me. And we did a 12-hour round trip that day, dropped the car off. And it was done in, I want to say like 6-7 weeks it took to do the cage.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So what's the fabricating of a cage like?
So he pretty much had to continue taking out more of like my dashboard and everything because I still needed some things to actually get down there,
Mhm.
road car down there. So he had to do that, remove the front windshield, and I don't think they removed the rear glass, but pretty much just stripping everything down and then trying to make the cage fit to me. His wife was 4'9", so she's the same height as me. So he
Okay.
had her sit in my seat and he would make everything to her.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know it was so like custom, but I guess for safety, it has to be.
I got really lucky. So I met this guy at Pocono Raceway and I saw his car and I was like, whoever did this cage has like the most welding skill I've ever seen. I really want them to do my car. And he was like, oh, actually, I built my cage myself. And I'm starting this fabrication company. And so he never did an FRS or a BRZ before. And he says, I'll give you a really good deal on it if you let me do it. And I was like, okay, cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It's glorious. It's all who you know sometimes.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
definitely like it was risk because I mean, I didn't know how it was going to turn out, but he did a really good job.
Yeah. Do you have a windshield? They put the windshield back in though, right? Or do you have okay.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, what are some of the things that because the reason why you're removing everything, in case people don't know this, I'm sure everyone probably does, is for weight, correct?
Mhm.
So what are the things like, how much weight do you think you've taken off the car? Or do you weigh it to find out?
I don't. I have no
Nope.
idea. I'm actually pretty convinced that putting the cage in probably made it weigh more.
Oh, then with all the paneling and everything?
Absolutely. Yeah, there's a lot of metal on that cage. If you see pictures of it, you'll see like what he did on the roof of the car. It's like so many gussets and things like that. There's a lot of extra material, but it's a really solid cage. So I just kind of the reason I stripped everything out and everything was because if you want to be A class at Englishtown, New Jersey, you have to have a roll cage in the car. So I was like, I really want to be A class.
What do you have? What does your car still have? Like speedometer, gas meter?
Yeah, it's got a speedometer. It's got the gas. No interior lights. I have a little puck light, one of those little closet puck lights. Yeah, that's about it. I got this, and yeah, got a fire extinguisher where the cup holders used to be.
Do you have a passenger seat?
I do not at the time.
Okay, cool.
Do you have one that you can bolt in case you need to take someone for a ride, or in case you have a passenger or something?
Yeah, I do. I just want I want a full year without passengers. I just kind of figured I wanted to focus and really get better. So I took my passenger seat out because I felt like I was getting kind of distracted.
Okay. Yeah.
Or like getting nervous, I guess.
That's cool.
Yeah. I feel like that's a good segue into do you ever have drifting dreams? Not like dreams in real life, but do you have like nighttime when you're sleeping?
Oh, no, the only dream I remember having, this is really weird, but back when I had my 240, I used to have this dream that I had to like escape from somewhere or something, and I'd be on the highway and I'd have the pedal all the way down and the car wouldn't move more than like 2 miles an hour.
Oh God, yeah. Oh,
It's a reoccurring dream.
Like
yeah.
the opposite of drifting.
Yeah.
You're all the way up.
So it was a nightmare.
It was.
We
Yeah.
didn't mean to bring up your nightmares. Sorry.
I mean, to make it worse, it was like army trucks and stuff in the street. I think I was like trying to escape.
Like something you were going to get taken down
Yeah.
for some reason. Yeah.
Did your reoccurring nightmare stop when you got your new car?
No.
Okay. All right. Just checking.
What do you do to prepare? So like how do you get better at driving? What's the process of like how do you prepare for an event or just to get in the mindset?
So as far as like getting better, there's really like no substitute for seat time. It's literally like however many hours you put out on the track, there's no modifications that you can buy for your car that's going to be better than just putting in the hours.
Right.
Um,
I like it's called seat time.
yeah, it is. And I mean, that goes for anything. That goes for welding, that goes for drifting. But like for me with drifting, I haven't really done too many modifications to my car. I still have the stock engine. I don't even have an intake, like nothing is done.
Yeah. I mean, your car was a sports car to begin. It's just right. It's a sport.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, it's pretty peppy, but there's a lot of people out there that they'll like overbuild. They'll do all these crazy engine swaps and stuff. But I've always kind of believed that like the simpler, the better.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I've done over 100 drift events since I started driving.
Yeah. Wow.
So really just trying to like hone in on the skills and reach out to the right people that will teach you how to have a better line. That's the main thing is how fast you're going and what your line is.
Yeah. So explain like what is what is a line? What does a drift track look like?
So basically it's just like how you're approaching a corner. Some of the tracks are just open parking lots, and they'll have a course set out with cones, and then some of the other tracks are road courses. I really like the road courses because if you mess up, you're going into the grass and like you messed up. Whereas if you're in a parking lot, you can be spinning and you have a lot of room, so you don't necessarily know whether your line is good or not.
Okay, right. Because the cones are soft and also short, probably hard to see. Okay, that makes sense. What about is it a workout driving that much?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So let's talk about like what parts of your body get worked.
Arms and shoulders.
Okay.
Like 100%. Like when you're throwing the car and then you're grabbing onto the steering wheel, like that's definitely a big arm workout. And besides that, left foot, lots of clutch kicking.
Yeah.
What's clutch kicking?
So basically, your foot is on the gas, you're going as fast as you can. If your RPMs still aren't high enough, you will hit the clutch and then let go, and it brings your RPMs up even more, and it upsets the balance of the car so you can keep drifting it.
Oh, interesting.
I want to try shift kicking.
So you're at that point, that's when you're actually drifting. That's when you're sliding.
Yep.
And are you trying to get, wow, this is such an interesting, I'm like, it's hard for me to even wrap my mind around. And I mean, I love driving and I like driving fast, but I don't know anything about any proper terms or doing it, but like so are you trying to get a little more speed at that point?
So yeah, so let's
Yeah.
say you're in the middle of a drift and you're like already going, and your car starts to straighten out, and you're like, nah, I don't want to straighten out. You're just gonna turn your wheel more, and then you clutch kick, and you're
Okay.
giving yourself more momentum.
Okay. Interesting.
And sometimes, like, you might have to clutch kick 5 times in a row.
Okay, to get it. And
Yeah.
you're not you're not downshifting.
No, usually, so it depends on the track, but usually, like, if you're in a turn, let's say you're already down in second gear and your RPMs go too low, you'll clutch kick and it brings it back up.
Right. Yeah. Um, and then you kind of need to know the car for that because because every car, it'll have that sweet spot, right? Where the RPM, it's like, this is in that gear, this is where it's going to get the most power. And
Yeah.
then,
And that's something I'm actually dealing with right now, because it was recommended to me that this year I change out my rear diff and change the gearing in it so that I have a shorter second gear. And that way I can be in third gear earlier. So therefore I can go faster.
Did you do that yourself?
I haven't done it yet, but it's one of the off-season plans.
Yeah.
But you can do it. There is an IS 300 diff that apparently bolts up directly into your FRS. So
how simple do you think it is really when something bolts up directly? I'm saying that in air quotes.
I have no idea. I'm not even gonna pretend to know that one.
Yeah. I love it. I love sometimes, like, one of my hot rod friends, I had to replace a fuel pump in my Trans Am, which is in the tank. But my friend that has like a 50s gasser, and this thing is fucking insane. But he's like, oh, that's not even a big deal, blah blah. You just like pull it up and like take it out, da da da. And
He said it was easy.
oh yeah, it's just like you can do it in like half a day. Which a half a day for like somebody that knows what they're doing is usually like 6 weeks for me. But yeah, and then I got into it and I was like, oh, you actually have to drop the rear end to get to the gas tank because the gas tank it's a tiny little, it's not a 50s car with like all that fucking space. Yeah, so it's always like sometimes it's what's really simple for someone is not as simple for a beginner, especially. But
No, absolutely.
yeah,
That was a bonding moment.
yeah, yeah. What other? Let's see. Have you ever been on the on a pit crew, or do you have a pit crew? Like, what is a pit crew in drifting?
I've been on a pit crew in an endurance race. It was actually for an all women's team. That was really cool. I did the fire suppression stuff. So I went out there with a fire extinguisher when they did like their tire changes and stuff like that. They don't really have that for drifting. You're kind of your own pit crew. Unless you're in like super high level competition drifting, you're doing all your tire changes and everything yourself.
How many tires are you going through?
In a day, anywhere from 4 to 6.
So I can't imagine that you have 6 sets of wheels. Do you?
No,
Okay.
they have tire machines at the track, so you'll just do it there.
But that's something that you operate yourself?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know why. I don't know if it has to do with like being so short or like I'm just like a quiet person, but I have guys every single event that want to take over the tire machine. Every time I get on the tire machine, it's like, can I help you? And I'm like, no, please do not help me. You're not helping me at all.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
That
Clearly,
doesn't
also,
surprise me.
if you I'm assuming that you could probably, because you've done it so many fucking times.
Yeah.
You're just going up there and doing it.
No, a lot of times when dudes try and help, they're not helpful at all.
So there was this one event.
Sometimes they are, but
my husband has a BRZ, so he has the same wheels. And at one event, I had to use his wheels. I don't even remember why, but he has the wheel speed sensors, or not the wheel speed sensors, TPMS sensors in his wheels, and I didn't want anything to happen to them. So I'm there using the tire machine. This guy like pretty much took over, and I was like, "You're about to break his sensors." I was getting so mad.
What did you do? Did you like have to wrestle it away from him or what?
Yeah, I pretty much was just like, I don't need help. Like, please don't help me. You're gonna ruin everything right now. Like, there's a reason. Like, I'm doing it a specific way. These aren't my wheels. Like, how do you explain that to someone when you're like,
when they're just kind of pulling you over?
To fucking Steve, that you're like, I was fine the whole time. Yeah. Sorry.
I do a lot.
Listen,
Like,
Steve.
This is so relatable. This story is so relatable for so many women, I'm sure.
So one thing that we do at our women's days is we try to do like a little 10-minute tire machine how to, so that girls can know how to change a tire on their own. Because it's pretty simple. If I can do it, being 4'9" and 90 pounds, anybody can change a tire.
Right. Yeah. Was it easy for you to learn how to do it?
So I learned how to do it when I was a technician at Toyota, and they taught me really well. And their tire machines had a lot of extra like arms and stuff like that, which were really helpful. The ones at the track aren't really as sophisticated, but they're a little bit more straightforward because of it.
Yeah. Is there a danger of like your arm getting ripped off or coming out of it? Or
I'm sure there is. Like, you definitely like don't want to use one if you don't know what you're doing, but I feel like with proper supervision, anyone can.
You can learn. Yeah. We're pro learning around here, I think is what I'm meaning to say.
No, I totally agree. I think knowledge is power, and just being able to know how to do something like that, that's just like one more skill to add to your collection.
Yeah. What is okay, so besides tires, what are there any other parts that you are constantly having to change out on days of racing, or is your car pretty much, I mean, it's a Subaru Toyota Scion, so all of those seem pretty synonymous with bulletproof.
Yep. No, my car's very, very straightforward. There's not, I think the only thing I ever have had an issue with in the 7 years that I've driven it is my clutch went one event. And that was because I was trying to do burnouts and I didn't know how to do them.
Oh, how many clutches have you gone through?
Just one. Just that one.
Okay.
Just that one. Yep.
So you burned it out so much that your clutch quit on you? You had to get a new one?
That particular event, I tried to do burnouts and I didn't know how to do them, and I burned out my clutch. And I ended up, the event was only 45 minutes from my house, so I ended up driving it home.
Oh, did you just like RPM shift it?
Yeah, it was slipping pretty bad, and somehow I made it home just going like really slow. And then at the time, I didn't really want my parents to know that I was still racing. So
let's hear more.
I brought it to my husband's house back when he was living at his parents', and we did the clutch in like 2 or 3 days there, and just got it done at night after work without anyone knowing. And the next week it was like, cool.
Snuck a clutch in.
Yeah. So you were living at home while you were like getting into racing and stuff, but you didn't tell your parents that you blew your clutch?
They were not happy about me racing a car that I had just bought.
Right.
I mean, I get it, but
also I get why like Chip Foose on Overhauling, once they did a tuner, and he was talking about, and he's like, these actually really remind me of hot rodding. Like when hot rodding first started, they're very simple. The parts are cheap and easy to come by, and you can pretty much buy one brand new and have a reliable car and do things to it. Wow. I mean, I think that I feel like in the culture, like doing that with a new car isn't that crazy, is it? Or is that just what I think from the outside?
The only crazy part about it is that when you start getting better, you start hitting things
Yeah.
and messing up your body panels and stuff. So the value of the car decreases. And I think when you if I had done it over again, I don't think I would have gone with a brand new one.
Right. Yeah. But this is also kind of your forever boo. It seems.
But that's like, yeah, that's like
Yeah.
your lifestyle choice. It's like, well,
It just really held me back at first because I was so scared when I first started that I was going to ruin the car that I was so scared to even kick the car out.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
And so it took, everybody used to say how slow I was. And it used to hurt a lot because people would just be like, yo, I don't want to be mean, but you're like too slow. You need to start like picking it up. And it's like, I'm scared.
Right. I mean, that makes sense. It is kind of I would imagine it's pretty daunting
Yeah,
for a
but
new car. Okay.
after a while you start to not care so much.
Right. What do
well,
you?
yeah, that car needs to be drifting and hitting things.
Yeah. Okay. So, but you do say that you wouldn't recommend buying a brand new car. Does that make sense?
No, I would say get something that is reliable, get something that you like, but you can get something for as little as, a couple $1,000s and, just put some love into it and make it your own because, it's just to get out there and have fun. It doesn't have
Yeah.
to be anything fancy.
Right. What do your parents think about drifting now?
So they still don't 100% get it. My dad still thinks that he can outdrift anyone. He's like convinced that he's been doing it since he was my age and that he could do better than half the people at the track, but that's just him.
Does he come to the track and drive with you sometimes?
My parents have only gone to one event, and
Okay.
it was on my birthday, the year I started, and I was really bad back then.
Right.
So they don't even know now. Now it's just like, they just think that the car addiction is a little unnecessary, but I get it.
Yeah, and you're being very gracious about that. And that's okay. Sometimes the people that you love, that's it's hard for people to understand. We're very pro passion here.
They were happy when I got into the welding thing though, just because they saw how happy it made me. The cars, that's one thing because they think it's just a waste of time and money, but welding, it's actually like a skill. So they were happy I got into that.
Yeah.
Well, drifting is a skill too. So.
I think so.
Driving is definitely a skill. Yeah. Do you think that being so used to being in a skid has made you a safer driver in general?
Oh, absolutely. I am definitely way more hyper aware of my surroundings, and there have been a couple of times just driving on like an icy day or a rainy day where like the back of the car kicks out and it's just like, oh wait, this is fun, I do this and we're right back to normal. Whereas maybe not having that skill, you can really like get into some situations, especially up here in New Hampshire.
Yeah. No, I absolutely 100% agree that I like that we have the freedom in the US to just be able to get our licenses and stuff, but like all the teenagers, so I don't know what the states are like that there, but here it's like, there's all this like kids can't be in the car with each other until they're like a certain age, and like they can't, like you can't be on your phone, and like obviously don't text and drive, but also those aren't the reasons why teenagers are dying, because they sometimes do go into a skid and they've never felt their car do that before ever because they've never really driven, and then they freak out and it's because it's terrifying and you can't stay calm and correct it.
So actually when I was like 16, 17 years old, before I really knew what drifting was, I knew it existed. I didn't know that you had to be in a rear wheel drive car.
Mm-hmm.
I was in I think a Buick LeSabre at the time, and it was
LeSabre. What year?
it was in 1997. That was my first car.
We love a hoopty.
I was on a back road in the wintertime. I think I was on my way to work just thinking it would be great to take a weird way. And I ended up skidding off into a snowbank. And I was like super freaked out after that. And I had no idea what to do. I had no idea how to control the car. And now I feel like if I got into that situation, things would be different.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's scary. It is scary losing control of a car, but you're kind of like purposefully losing control of a car, but keeping control of it. I think that's what's so fascinating about what drifting is.
And it's the best feeling in the whole world. Like especially when you're sitting passenger for the first time in a drift car and you get the feeling of going sideways, it's just like an instant smile on your face.
Yeah.
We'll do that.
Fuck yeah. I have two more questions, and then because Lauren has like a bunch of questions that I think I've just like totally. I'm sorry, Lauren. Like,
No, we're good.
How did drifting start? Like, what's not like? Do you know much about the history of drifting and like where it came from?
So I think drifting as like an actual organized sport or as like an underground sport really originated in Japan. It started on the streets of Japan, super illegal. But pretty much these guys were like, hey, we're going to make our cars look really cool to impress women.
Mm-hmm.
We're not fast drivers, but we can make it look really cool to impress women.
Right.
And yeah, that's pretty much how it started. I mean, back in like the late 80s, early 90s.
So it's very new to the. But doing burnouts and donuts is a time-honored tradition of rear-wheel cars from the beginning of real drive cars. Almost, I feel like.
Absolutely.
Really,
Yeah.
How, like, from your perspective, how dangerous is drifting?
You know, it depends because compared to other types of racing, you're really not going as fast. Like your miles per hour really aren't as fast as say doing regular road racing. But still there's that whole element of your car being out of control that I think adds to it. And the fact that you're going sideways, like there are some pretty bad accidents that happen. That's why we have all the safety equipment like the cage and the seats and harness and stuff though. But I think overall I wouldn't say anyone's like died from it.
Yeah.
Not that I know of.
And then as far as like dangerous in a different way, like do you do any street racing and get in trouble for that? And how does that all work?
So I don't recommend doing it. I would never
Oh yeah, kids, don't try any of this at home.
Yeah, you don't have to disclose anything if you don't want to.
No, I mean, now that I've done it for a long time, yeah, when it rains, like I like to go out and I like to have fun and like we'll hit up a couple spots, but for the most part, it's just like an empty parking lots. That's still technically illegal, but is it really hurting anyone? Not really.
Right.
So you go for a parking lot. You're still gonna be in a parking lot.
I mean, it depends. I mean, there's some pretty cool rotaries, and like there's this really sick exit where I live that's like a downhill, but then like you can turn around on the street and go on an uphill, and then like further down there's another roundabout, so you can like do that, and then if you need to split, you can hit the highway. So
that sounds so fun.
How often do you get pulled over, or have you been pulled over?
So the last time I got pulled over, Taylor and I got pulled over together in her 240. We were doing a promotional video for one of our sponsors, for our CBD sponsor. And I guess somebody called about like a noise complaint because we were in a parking lot. And on our way home from the parking lot, we got pulled over and they were just like, so, we heard somebody was doing some skids and we're just like, yeah, but we had permission. And they just said, okay, have a good day.
You got permission from the people that own the parking lot, or you just said that you're quick on your feet?
No, we technically did have permission because they're the ones that owned the company. So.
Oh, you did it in their actual parking lot. Like, was it in front of the building? Did they have like a sign or anything? Like you could tell it was in front of their building? Oh, yep. That's so cool.
Yeah. We just posted the video on the Drift Kitchen, like, I want to say a couple weeks ago.
Okay. Yeah, we'll have to check that out. Yeah, I think so. That was kind of what you're talking about. Was one of our questions was about like how do you scratch that like the burnout donut itch while doing it safely? And I think like because track time can be very expensive.
Yeah, it can be expensive, but the way I see it is one day of racing let's say $150
Mhm.
is the same amount as a ticket.
Right.
So
True.
you do it legally and pay the money up front, and also have people around you that can help you build the skills and do better, or you can do it on the street and potentially, lose your license.
And or crash your car or kill someone. I think
Yeah.
that's the biggest thing is the killing someone. But I think that like a huge empty parking lot, things like places like that, I feel like those are potentially pretty safe. But
I absolutely agree.
you have to be really aware of like, are there curbs in them? But where are the bushes at? Where are the lights at? And like being ready to lose control of your car at any time too, kind of a knowing.
But I think that every time, at least for me, every time that I've gone out to a parking lot, like, in the back of your head, like, okay, there's a potential that I could hit something, and something
Yeah.
could go, like, fully well.
Yeah. Be aware.
Are you drifting in quarantine?
Uh, we did do that video during quarantine, but no, I'm looking at possibly trying to get a simulator, um, because they do have drifting simulators. I have my seat out of my car right now since I'm sanding down the whole interior so we can paint it. So I have my seat upstairs here, and I was looking to maybe set that up so I can start doing a simulator training.
Whoa, how does the simulator training work?
So they pretty much, you can get like a Assetto Corsa for like the PC, and you can set that up to stream, and you can either do that with your friends, so you can actually like tandem with other people. They have like an e-brake setup that you can do all the pedals and everything, and it's all controlled, and it's inputted into the game. They also have you can get like the Oculus and do the 3D as well. The only thing you don't get is like the G forces of the car, but everything else is still the same input.
Wow.
That's cool.
And then, well, I mean, racers use those to train.
Yeah, absolutely. And
Yeah.
that's one way that you can, like you said, be able to drift in quarantine, and it's free. You don't have to pay every time, and B, you're still like getting the same skills and all
See, you're not going to get a ticket or kill anyone.
that. It's just not as fun, and you don't get the smell of tire smoke.
Right. Yeah, that is a really good smell. And the G-forces part, I think, too. Okay, I have one more question, and then Lauren, I'm going to turn it over to you. You didn't know how to do a burnout properly with the manual. What is the proper way to do a burnout?
So I pretty much go into first gear. You're pretty much like riding the clutch. You have your foot on the brake and on the gas all at the same time, essentially. I mean, that's the best way that I can describe it.
Right. What? Because is there a way that you can do it without burning the clutch, or because you burn it a little bit each time, right?
I used to do it a lot in the 240. I really haven't done really any burnout since I did that to my clutch in the FRS, just because I was like, I really don't want to waste the tires when I can just be fast and having fun. So
I see what you're saying. Yeah. I had my first like mechanic mentor. He helped me buy my first V8, my first car just for fun. And I love doing burnouts, but he was like, those are for amateurs. Which makes sense, especially you saying that. And yeah, my clutches are not in good shape.
I don't think I've had the finesse to be able to like do it properly. I mean, I don't know. After that first time and the pain in the ass it was to like replace my clutch, I'm like, I don't want to do this again.
Well, I think even if you do a burnout properly, it's bad for your clutch, right?
Yeah, I don't know if that's why I was curious. I was like, oh, is there a proper way to do it?
I mean, to do it, you have to
burning
fuck up your clutch.
Yeah, you're like revving the RPMs. Unless, I mean, if you have a line lock, then you don't have to deal with the brake part. But even that, you're still, I think.
I mean, even if you don't break it, it's still like that's hard work for your clutch.
Yeah, it's always burnt.
Like I've got some pictures of it somewhere. Like it was like black when
did you glaze? Because I guess you can like glaze them sometimes without that heat where it turns actually into glass. Or
Really?
somebody had said something to me about that from some time that I took my daily driver, which is a 2005 Honda Accord, to the drag strip a couple summers ago, and I thought the clutch got stuck. So not only did I burn the clutch out, but what I figured out later was the throttle got stuck, and it got stuck between 6,000 and 7,000 RPM and red lines at like, I think 75. It was real, it was real in that space. So I just was like, what's happening? Like, I thought I'd lost the clutch, and I got it off the track, and then I was like, that smell, oh God, that's my clutch, And so I kind of went around and asked some of the dudes that were there, like, hey, what do you think happened? Like, do you think I can race again? Like, with the way that was smelling. And anyway, I didn't, because I was like, fuck, I can't afford to put a new clutch in this right now. But yeah, I think in that conversation, somebody had told me about, sometimes if you burn them really bad, they'll like glass, like you said, because yours was like burned, right? Just black.
Mine was so bad. Oh, it was so bad.
Clutches. Jeez, they're not as easy to replace as tires.
No, the electronic transmission is pretty lightweight, so that part wasn't too bad.
Yeah, still like a lot. And then I don't know, the part itself is kind of. Do you have a racing clutch?
No, it's crazy because I didn't even upgrade when I had to replace it. I was just like, I'm just gonna put in another stock clutch. I don't even know why. I could have just spent the extra $100 and.
Have you driven a racing clutch before? I
have.
Okay.
I don't.
They're real. I heard they're super gnarly, especially if you're a daily drive. That they're not as fun.
They are kind of gnarly, and like the thing is, I don't know. I'm so comfortable with my car the way it is now. I'm afraid to change anything on it because it drives so well right now.
Yeah, well, I mean that's fair. Yeah, I like that. Don't break it if it's not fixed. Don't fix it if it's not broken.
It's okay. Okay, so I want to hear about your trip to Japan, and you went, and was it involved with drifting?
So when I went in November, I went with my friend Brittany and her husband Chris, and I met them through drifting. I actually just met them last year. They invited me to go with them. They have a Toyota JZX 100 out in Japan. They bought it there, and it's kept at the track. You can keep your cars at the track there. And
it's like stabling your horse.
It kind of, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. They have like a whole garage and stuff at Ebisu that you can get your car worked on there. You can store them there. So they invited me to just go with them for 2 weeks and drive with them.
That sounds awesome.
Wow. Yeah. So it was a drift trip.
It was the best time ever.
What was your favorite part about it?
Everything. The first time I drove right-hand drive, the first time I ever drove first time I drove a car with a turbo in my life. No, I did drive one Supra, but the first time I extended driving a car with a turbo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I cried like the first time I got on the track. I was just like, I can't believe I'm here.
Yeah. Oh, I love
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Are you going to go back? Can you go back soon?
Yeah. We were supposed to go back in November of this year with a big group of people that I was going to show around. But because of like this whole COVID-19 thing, we're moving it out to March of next year. But that's when the cherry blossoms bloom, and it's
so cool.
So we'll be back next year.
So it sounds like you've made some friends in Japan.
Yeah, I went in 2018 for a non-car related trip, and I stayed with a family for a full month while I was there, and they were so nice, and they taught me how to speak Japanese. They were so cool.
That's awesome.
What is the culture around racing and the tracks there? I mean, for one thing, you can leave your car there, so that's pretty. It sounds really supportive.
It's so different there. Their safety is really different. Like you don't have to have There's like certain things that you don't have to have, such as a bucket seat. Like you can go with a stock seat and like a really crappy seat belt, and you can be going 70 miles an hour into a wall, and it's just anything goes there, which is
Okay.
easy. They'll have, as far as like drifting, they have like 50 cars out at the same time. It's like, it's so scary. There were a couple times that I had to like get off the track because there's just so many people, and I'm like, I'm gonna be the one to spin out, and then it's just gonna be a whole pile up right now.
Yeah.
Um, it's just really intense. The Matsuri has a lot of people, and it's really intense, but they're also very they're really respectful there, and everybody kind of like helps each other out, just like here in the car community. But I think there it's just it's like a whole way of life.
Yeah. I like that. I'm curious about, was there more women out there involved than you think out here, or it's about the same?
So when I went for the Matsuri, there was us two, there was a couple of girls from Australia that came for it, and then yeah, there was at least a dozen women out there for that weekend that we went. So I'd say that's pretty on par with what we've got right now in New England. The thing with Japan though is they started the women's drift days there. They had a whole ladies league doing competitions there up until 2015 or 2016, and that's actually what inspired me to start doing it here in the States.
Oh, wow.
That's cool.
Yeah. So they're a little bit ahead of the curve almost.
They actually, the reason why they did stop theirs is because they did have like either an injury or death in 2016 there, and that's when they stopped the ladies league. So I don't know if they're going to start it again, but I do know they still have some like of the women's strip days there.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm super curious. You have really rad style, just in case our listeners don't know that. We're women who love cars and fashion, and that's like it's all part of our style. So to see you out there with your very unique style, and then also just being badass with your car, we love that. So wanted to talk about that a little bit, and also what kind of music you listen to while you're drifting.
Cool. So I guess I'll start with like the music that I listen to with drifting. So obviously without a radio, it's kind of hard, but I do have my little speaker on me. I listen to a lot of like Eurobeat, which is the stuff that they would play in the Initial D anime, and it's like super fast bass, like pumping, and just like really fast music, very like odd, like broken English.
Okay.
So that's pretty fun. And besides that, I listen to like a lot of old like 70s classic rock.
That's awesome. And so like when you're drifting, do you play that music to like pump you up? Is that
Absolutely.
part? Yeah.
Yep.
It just goes
Or
with it.
AFI. I listen to a lot of AFI when I drift.
Shout out to AFI.
And then I was curious about like your fashion, your style, and also being a woman in the not only the auto industry, but also in like drifting. Is that something that you've been like well received in, expressing yourself through style and other ways, or have you ever like toned it down for any reason?
So I would say, yeah, I feel like I've been really toned down lately. When I was working for the court system, that's when I kind of like stopped dyeing my hair and like wasn't wearing so many like studded vests and stuff like that. But since leaving there and starting to do like the welding thing and drifting and everything, I've really been like trying to wear a lot of, what I like to wear.
Yeah.
For the most part, people have been really accepting and cool of it. Like I've always said, I'm like, there needs to be more like goth chicks with race cars.
Absolutely.
We were talking about this.
We were wondering like design a car, like the aesthetic of a car. Like if you could like make a dream car, like would it
Because your car's
reflect
all
your
white, and we were talking about that of the juxtaposition of like you being in all black so much. So yeah.
Yeah. So all right. I guess this is where the idea for like the paint colors you guys are asking earlier about the car. So one of the ideas that we had were to make my interior super like pastel purple and pastel pink.
Please do that. Can you please do that?
Yes.
So that you can have like the like pastel goth stuff on the inside, but then like wear all the like black and everything. I think that would be really
Oh my God.
cool. So one of the ideas I had was to do like the interior like pastel purple, and then like the Arizona green tea cans, like
Yes.
that greenish seafoam green. I was thinking about maybe doing the cage that color. I don't know yet though.
Okay, we need to talk about car fashion later. I'm just like, that sounds amazing.
Yeah.
One more thing though, someone suggested to me, and this was genius. He was like, "Oh, yeah, I want you to have like your personal flair in your car. You should consider spraying your color over fishnets. So when you take the fishnet off, you get like that design, and you can do it with lace and all sorts of stuff too."
Yeah. Yeah.
That would be
really
super cool.
I love
We
that.
had a friend who did that with lace in her.
Yeah, they're
what was her car?
Fury Dame. She has I'm gonna say the wrong year,
Fury.
but it's a Plymouth Fury. I think it's a 62.
And she did it with lace, and it looked really fucking cool.
This is the tail end of it. I have a part of it right here.
Oh, that's really cool.
These are from test
But
prints.
that would, if you did it like with fishnets or fence nets or something, it would match like you would match your car. That's what I always say. I'm like the ultimate accessory. So like if it could just match your whole aesthetic, that's what's better than that.
Yeah, we love the ideas of cars matching outfits. Okay,
so really quick, just maybe for my own personal benefit, can you give me your like top 3 anime movies for it's like especially if there's like badass cars in them, because there usually is.
So top 3 would be Initial D. The new one is called MF Ghost, and it's Initial D, except it's like 10 years in the future, and he has the FRS. So the main character now has my car. So that would be number 1. Number 2 would be Wolf's Rain. Kind of not as well known, but it was from like the early 2000s. It's pretty much about wolves that disguise themselves as humans. I really like that one. Cool. And third would be Cowboy Bebop.
Okay.
I actually have the Cowboy Bebop. I have Faye Valentine. She's one of the characters from. Yeah. I have her as my driver's side door card in the car.
Cute.
Yeah. What's Cowboy Bebop about? That's a really interesting name.
I guess the best way to describe it is like these cowboys and cowgirls in space.
Like intergalactic bounty hunters, kind of?
Yeah, that's perfect.
But they're super babe. They're so hot. And then all the cars in the, yeah. And so I'm not familiar with the other ones, but I'm super excited because there's always like everyone has a stick anime. It's fucking, and the girls are all hot. So
if you can find Wolf's Rain, definitely check it out. Also, if you're into the fashion animes, Paradise Kiss is a book series, and it's all about Japanese street fashion.
Oh, wow. This is incredible. Taking that up.
I could talk about anime for a while.
Well, I realized like a little bit into our conversation, I was like, oh, I clearly should have had a whole anime section going on, but we'll just have to catch up about that.
We'll probably have to have you on the podcast again, because I think this is definitely the longest one that we. No, don't you be sorry. We're stoked on it. We might cut it into 2 pieces. I'm not sure. I think we've gone for 2.5 hours, but some of this time we've been like breaking and stuff. No, there's stuff that we didn't even, I think, talk to you about, but it's because it's been so amazing. And like, yeah, we'll probably just have to do another one at some point. Do you have any words of wisdom or advice for aspiring drifters? or anyone that wants to get into it?
Yeah, I would say try it. Even if you're scared to try it, because the minute that you get out there for the first time, all those fears are going to immediately go away and be replaced with excitement. And don't give up when you're not getting it right away, because nobody gets it right away.
Right. Like anything in life, I feel like you give it a couple tries.
It took me 3 years before I could even like really say I could hold a drift. So
Right. But how much fun did you have in those 3 years?
a lot.
Yeah. See? Doesn't matter.
And maybe you start with a used car.
Right. Don't make your parents mad.
So you, well, and also, so you, like you said, you were like nervous, so you could just like get after it, just like fuck it up.
Definitely get something that you're not afraid to drive.
Yeah. So I wanted to ask, do you have any shout outs to any people like along the way, or like rad people that you work with, or where you had your car done, anything like that?
Yeah. I want to shout out Brittany Maffey and Chris Maffey. Thank you for letting me drive your cars in Japan. You guys are the best people in the world. I want to shout out Taylor, my business partner, because she is literally like the kindest, sweetest human being. And she doesn't really like social media, so she does not get as much credit as I do with Drift Kitchen, which isn't fair, because she puts in just as much, if not more, effort than what I put in. I'd like to shout out Megan Foster, aka Brap Queen on Instagram, because she is awesome and super supportive. Never Lift Autofab for doing the cage, BC Racing coilovers, Akavi CBD, and Grip Royal steering wheels.
Cool.
Where can we find Drift Kitchen, and where can we find you?
Drift Kitchen, you can go to driftkitchen.com, or you can go to @thedriftkitchen, and you can find me at Initial Debillis or Alexis Debillis on Facebook.
Woohoo!
Will you spell that for us?
Oh yeah.
Which one?
Your former last name.
DABILIS.
Cool.
Dab Illis.
Oh yeah, girl.
Yeah. Illis Dab, apparently.
I know. I was like, are you making a 420 reference right now?
Without even meaning to, I was born into it.
Right. Yeah. It just came naturally. I mean, before dabs were even a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, that is a wrap, folks. Lauren, where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Spiders from Mars with a Z.
And you can find me at mdognightmare. Don't forget to follow Car Crush. We're at Car Crush, carcrush.com. And if you like what we're saying, share it. And if you hate it, share it with your enemies. Rate us. Send us presents. Follow Alexis, because she's fucking amazing, clearly. And get out there and drive.
And also, Car Crush is Crush with a K.
Oh, yeah. Oh, shit. CARKRUSH. Because we're cute.
Yes.
All right. Bye. Bye.
Bye.